The engineered collapse of automotive self-reliance didn't happen overnight. It came in waves, subtle and deliberate, designed to starve out the owner and empower the corporation. In a previous investigation, we peeled back the corporate curtain on a tactic so insidious it has been hiding in plain sight for years: the zero stock trap. Major automakers and their dealer networks have systematically discontinued the analog components necessary to maintain vehicles from the golden era of American trucks. These are the machines built in the late 90s and early 2000s, engineered before the industry pivoted hard into the digital subscription model. We warned viewers then to stockpile critical parts before they vanished from inventory entirely. What followed was a flood of first-hand testimony that validated every alarming word. Real people with real problems. David Heine reached out and explained that his 2005 Silverado diesel suffered a catastrophic failure when the glow plug controller gave out. He searched everywhere. His trusted mechanic did the same. Nothing. The part simply did not exist in the supply chain anymore. Then there was Graham Verrett, currently navigating an identical nightmare with his year 2000 Toyota equipped with a 2.8-liter diesel engine. He tried ordering a critical component only to be told the part number no longer existed in any database. These are not isolated incidents. This is a coordinated starvation strategy, and it is quietly bricking perfectly functional vehicles across the country. But then something remarkable happened. The master mechanics, the ones who have spent decades under hoods and inside engine bays, began speaking up. They revealed a loophole so powerful, so elegant in its defiance, that it threatens the very foundation of the modern automotive monopoly. When Detroit stops making the parts, the smart wrenches of America do not surrender their trucks to the scrapyard. They bypass the system entirely. What we are witnessing is nothing short of an aftermarket rebellion. Skilled technicians and determined owners are taking matters into their own hands. They are physically removing factory computers from their vehicles, custom wiring their own control systems, and deploying aftermarket engineering solutions that render their trucks completely immune to the dealership cartel. This is not theoretical. This is happening right now in garages, in rural driveways, and in independent repair shops that refuse to bow to corporate pressure. Let's begin with the nerve center of any modern vehicle, the engine control module. When this critical piece of electronics fails, the dealership parts department will often deliver the same scripted line. The part is no longer available. They expect defeat. They expect you to feel helpless, to walk directly onto the showroom floor and consider financing a brand new model, loaded with telemetry, subscriptions, and built-in obsolescence. But there is another path. One that was illuminated by sharp-eyed viewers who understand the mechanics of true ownership. The solution lies in companies like Holley and Haltech. These are manufacturers of standalone engine management systems, and they represent the ultimate act of vehicular independence. The process is straightforward for anyone with intermediate wiring knowledge. You remove the aging factory wiring harness. You pull the dead or dying factory engine control module from its mount on the firewall. Then you install a modern, self-tuning standalone unit such as the Holley Terminator. What you gain is nothing short of revolutionary. A standalone system has no embedded cellular modem. It does not phone home to a corporate server with your fuel trims, your driving habits, or your geographic location. You control the spark timing. You control the fuel delivery. If a sensor begins to malfunction, you connect your own laptop, read the diagnostic data yourself, and source a replacement sensor from the thriving aftermarket. No appointment necessary, no diagnostic fee, no permission required. But here is where the plan hits a mechanical reality that dealerships hope the average owner never learns. If you rip out the factory computer on a truck equipped with an electronically controlled automatic transmission, you create a new problem. Transmissions like the GM 4L60E or the Ford 4R70W rely on the factory engine control module to command their shift points. Without that computer, the transmission defaults to a fail-safe mode. Maximum line pressure, locked in third gear. This is what technicians call limp mode. The blue-collar solution is ingenious. Experienced mechanics wire in a standalone transmission controller. Or they take it one step further. They swap out the automatic transmission entirely and install a heavy-duty manual gearbox with a physical clutch pedal. When you make that swap, you sever the digital umbilical cord completely. No computer mediation, no software dependencies. Just a driver, a clutch, and a gear lever. Pure mechanical engagement. But the rebellion does not stop at the engine bay. It extends into the cabin, into the very interface between driver and machine. In the last investigation, we highlighted how physical ignition lock cylinders are being phased out in favor of hackable push-button systems that rely on wireless key fobs. One viewer made a blunt observation. The brass ignition key module could simply be replaced with an on-off switch. In theory, that is absolutely correct. In practice, there is a technical trap waiting for anyone who tries it without understanding the underlying security architecture. If you attempt to hotwire a 1999 Silverado or F-150, the engine will crank and start. Then it will die 2 seconds later. The reason is buried in the factory security system. GM vehicles use something called VATs. Ford uses PATs. These are immobilizer protocols that actively scan for a specific electrical resistance value embedded in a microchip inside the factory key. So how do seasoned mechanics defeat it? They solder in a 10-cent resistor that precisely matches the ohm value of the factory key. This tricks the security module into thinking the correct key is present. Once that is done, they install heavy-duty marine-grade toggle switches and a push-button starter on the dashboard. The result is a discontinued proprietary locking cylinder replaced with $5 worth of hardware store components and a tiny piece of copper. Bulletproof, simple, repairable. The plastic gears inside blend door actuators strip out. The control panels crack. Replacement modules, if they can be found at all, command premium prices on the used market. The plastic gears inside blend door actuators strip out. The control panels crack. Replacement modules, if they can be found at all, command premium prices on the used market. If the factory module dies, you can wire in a new set of toggle switches and a resistor. Problem solved. This is the mindset of someone who refuses to be held hostage by proprietary design. The finished product may not resemble a luxury car interior, but it delivers ice-cold air, costs $20 in parts, and will never require a software update or a trip to the service department. Now we arrive at the nuclear option. What happens when the factory electronic fuel injection system is too degraded to salvage? You go analog, throw a carburetor and a distributor on it, and if the engine is too new, gut the whole setup and drop in a pre-1986 small block Chevy. This is the final boss move of the right to repair movement, the carburetor swap. Any seasoned mechanic will tell you that you cannot just drop a traditional distributor into an LS or Vortec engine block from the early 2000s. So the determined builder has two choices. Purchase an aftermarket ignition controller box to fire the spark plugs while the carburetor manages fuel delivery. Or execute the purist approach. Remove the engine entirely and install a pre-1986 small block Chevy. When you go that route, you eliminate the need for any computer whatsoever. A carburetor operates on principles of fluid dynamics and engine vacuum. There is no mass airflow sensor to calibrate or replace. There is no electronic throttle body that can throw the vehicle into limp mode. There is no idle air control valve to get clogged with carbon. If a gasket fails on a carburetor in the middle of nowhere, you can trace a replacement onto a piece of cardboard from a cereal box, cut it out with a pocket knife, reinstall it, and drive home. You cannot do that with a silicon chip or a software-locked module. The automotive industry believes they have the American driver cornered. The plan is for frustrated owners to walk into gleaming showrooms and accept a new reality. A reality where you are not an owner, but a subscriber. A reality where your vehicle reports to a server, requires periodic software authorization, and can be remotely altered or disabled. They have drastically underestimated the ingenuity and resolve of the American mechanic. We are not merely consumers, we are engineers. We are fabricators. We are problem solvers with a deep-rooted belief in the right to own, repair, and modify our property. The aftermarket has become the final line of defense against a digital cage that is tightening around modern vehicle ownership. The tools exist. The parts exist. The knowledge exists. Your analog truck can remain on the road for the next 50 years, as long as you have the determination to learn how the systems work and the courage to take control of them yourself. What remains to be seen is how many people will choose that path. How many will refuse to be starved out by planned obsolescence and corporate gatekeeping? The rebellion is not loud. It does not make headlines. But in every independent shop, in every driveway where a determined owner refuses to give up on a perfectly good machine, it is growing. And it is unbreakable.